FlipAnythingUSA. So look, tonight's the night. I haven't done a live webinar in a long time, but I'm doing one tonight at 7 p.m. So I'm going to take time. I'll answer anybody's questions about anything real estate. I've been doing it for 43 years, investing since I was 19. I'm sorry I got a little bit of a late start today. I was going to start, and by the way, there's a phone number for you guys if you want to call in. I've got a queue here, and we can talk. And I don't want to start this off, but I just got a call, and I'm going to share this image with you. I have a lot of properties, a lot of buildings. In fact, we actually just did some promotional pictures. Where are those at? Are they my download, son? Yeah, I mean, it just to give you an idea. I wanted you to see some of these assets because, as you saw by the thumbnail, look, I got property all over the place, but nearby, right? Buy local. I'm telling you, the people that encourage you to buy far away, it's because they got nothing else to share, I guess. Very few people can do what I can show you, and that's just the truth. Also, I'm on here at 1 o'clock now. I'm trying to hit different times for people. Not everybody it's convenient, obviously, to tune in. By the way, tell me if there's any problems with the audio or video while you're listening, if you don't mind. But I'm going to share an image with you because what I had just a few minutes ago, my tenant calls up, and this is sad, and says her customer had a break-in her car in a parking lot of one of my commercial strip centers and got ripped off. And so, I mean, not like a stick-up, but, and I'm going to show you this, but got ripped off in the sense that somebody broke into her car. Obviously, somebody followed her from the bank. She'd gone to the bank. She took out several $1,000s, actually a little more than that, and foolishly left it in her car, went in, had her nails done, and came back out, and her car was broken in, and the money was gone. Hey, thanks, Crazy Cat. So, like I say, those of you just got here, please hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel, and I just tell you, I may not be the slickest, smoothest operator when it comes to, but I guarantee I'm the smartest guy you're going to find on YouTube when it comes to real estate investing. I don't know anybody that's done more. I don't know anybody that even comes close to as diverse a portfolio as I have. I've made millions of dollars in land, industrial, commercial, buildings, office buildings, trailers, food parks, everything you can imagine pretty much that you drive by. And that's why I would say I'm the most relevant mentor you're going to find. The other thing is I've been doing it for 43 years, and I'm telling you, you can't pull experience out of your ass. You gotta live it. You gotta experience it. I got a book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. Urge you to get a copy. Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. It's available on Audible, Kindle, and But I focus on men and women. I hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I did that by accident. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. That's helpful. But I focus, because this has been the most rewarding. Look, I'm 62, right? I've had a charmed life. Not many people can, work 40 years in a row, or 43 years I've been investing. I started working 2 years before that, but since becoming an investor, it paved the way to where, like today. I mean, I got up, I work out with my son 5 days a week, so I got to build my body, keep myself strong. I wake up, my son's getting bigger, he's getting harder for me to keep up with, and so I just go back to bed for an hour or two. So I just woke up a little while ago. But that is the benefit. I say it all the time to my kids. What do I tell you, son? What do I tell you all the time, you and your brother and your brothers and sisters? A good life is by design. A good life is by design. And so I enjoy sharing that because it's the truth. It's the truth, And a lot of people, they just don't put enough emphasis on planning ahead and getting ahead and making money and investing. But also, I mean, and I know there's a lot of people that don't have very good role models around them, My dad wasn't a rich man, but he believed in me, and he told me, you can do anything, son, and I believed him. And he was very supportive of anything I ever wanted to do or try. Not that we had money to do or try much, but he was supportive. And so I like to think that I can be a little bit of a mentor in that regard to anybody that maybe didn't have a good role model at home. And so, because people sometimes they need like a big brother to talk to or whatever. And I say that because that's how people often refer to me. And it is. I'm somebody you can trust. Hey, Tom, the future looks, I'm going to assume good, right? I think the future is looking really good. I really like the fact that our country is going to be under new management. I like the idea that there's going to be a waste control. By the way, I'm going to go live today at 4:30 with a buddy of mine who's a smart guy, successful guy. And Brian, hey, tomorrow, what's that now? Oh, I see. Oh, Brian, you're fighting the autocorrect. I got you. So look, where do we start? Let me upload this. I'll just show you something because I'm sure you at some point you kind of curious. It'd be like kind of nice to know, like somebody makes a movie or something. It's kind of it's like, hey, how much you get paid? Like a big actor, what do you get paid for that movie? When you're a producer, how do you make money on the producer side of it and the actor side of it? You know what I mean? In other words, it's like I'm curious to know. Of course, I don't know any big movie stars to ask that, but in any business, that it's kind of like you want to you just, and that's what you can do with me. You can ask me any question you want about real estate. Now, I won't tell anybody. There's some financial secrets I can't share, obviously, but let me do an airdrop here to my computer. Here we go. Okay, there we go. So let me share something with you, and I got a few things here I can share with you. Let me get rid of that. And so this poor gal, just so you know, this is my phone. You see off to my shoulder here, this way, camera, stage right, stage left. Here, put it in the middle here. And this is like my dashboard of cameras. These are on properties that I own, right? There's front gate. There's a food park. There's an industrial building. There's commercial food park. There's a bar. There's a commercial building, office building, and strip center right here. So unfortunately, I didn't have this camera activated on Ring, but you can go back and retroactively activate the camera. So I should be able to, and we got to do that. We got to get the Ring camera on here. Because I just put a Ring camera in here because I'd had a vape shop that got broke into. So I just put this camera up just in case it might discourage it from happening again. And sure enough, somebody did a smash and grab right here right next to this van. This is only like 25 minutes ago. And as a result, somebody's out, over $5,000 cash. And the gal called me and I said, honey, there's nothing I can do for you. I said, you shouldn't leave your cash in the car. And but I said, I'll get you a video and we'll see maybe who did it. But that's, I don't even know how much bigger I can make that, but it will give me a little more resolution than this. And I'm a big believer in the Ring cameras. As you can see, take a look here again. I've got these all over the place and I've caught many crimes, many thefts, many attempted thefts on camera. And even if I see somebody that stinks, I can see them, they're kind of, weaseling around, checking doors. And if I recognize them, then I can go back to that particular property. And I might see them a block away and stop and say, hey, man, nah, don't do this anymore. You're on camera. I know it's you. Don't do it again. And, so it dissuades crime, but not always. Listen, I've had a guy, this is kind of weird. I'll just show you because why not? Actually, this is probably it. Yeah, a restaurant. Oh, God, where is that restaurant? Yeah, here it is. So I'm going to show you. This is a theft. Took place. Oh, God, how long ago? A long time ago. My boys were little. Probably 2010. So this is a restaurant. I'll take you down on the ground here. I can drive around and show you this. So I want you to look at this. This is a restaurant. I put in this patio. This is I bought this for $720, sold it for $930. and made money while I had it. Added about 100 tables to the front. I'm actually going to be sharing some cool stuff with you guys in the class very soon. Does the property insurance cover? No, definitely not. It's not my problem that somebody gets their car broke into or stolen or anything else. But I want to show you something. This is on the back of this of the back of my restaurant. This is not my restaurant anymore, but on the back, look here. See this door? Look up at the top here. That's a camera. That's a camera right there. It's got red LEDs all the way around. I put cameras all the way around this property. Well, so I would normally run over and check on this property around, I don't know, 9 o'clock in the morning usually. This is like 15 years ago, 12 years ago, I don't know. And sometimes I'd check early. I forget why I would be over there so early, but this morning I was running just a little bit late, and I go, hell with it. And I was working out. I've been working out for many years, and I'm working out, and I get a buzz on my phone, and I realize the alarm's triggered. And so I run over there, and what a guy did is, and I got it. The guy. Well, I'll tell you the story. He took a screwdriver, about probably a 14, 15-inch long flathead screwdriver, and he used it like a pry bar. And he just dug away at the doorknob and into the jamb till actually he created an open path for the deadbolt to pass through. But he just chewed through it. Well, he's chewing through this thing with this thing probably for 10 minutes. Right in front of a camera that is, I'm not kidding, it's probably not even 30 inches from his face, red LEDs, and he doesn't even care. He's not even worried about it. And so he whittles through that. He opens the door. Well, as soon as he opens the door, triggers the alarm. But the alarm's silent for the first minute. So he goes in, walks through the building, goes in, looks at the cash register, doesn't see any cash, and then all of a sudden the alarm goes off. And so what does he do? We have a thing, they would call it the crack machine, because this is a bar, right? And it was like a trivia machine. You put in $1 or something. And so he grabs that and rips it out and runs out the back door, throws it in his car, and drives off. And I got here right after he left. And, of course, I see what's happened. But I started thinking, oh, geez, if I'd have just done my normal walk-up that I normally do, if I just did my normal walk-up thing and caught this guy, who knows, maybe I'd have gotten shot. I don't know, and so, it inspired me to keep, a handgun close by more often. And I've had a couple of weird deals, but, I used to have had laundry rooms. What's wrong, son? Oh, I had laundry, I've had laundry, laundry mats, right? But anyway, so long story short, this theft happens, and you never know when somebody, like I say, when somebody's prying a door open 30 inches from their face is a camera, you think, what the hell? This guy doesn't even care. I remember there's a baby, and we did get him, by the way. He did go to jail because I had a beautiful video of him. The guy's kind of an idiot. So anyways, but these Ring cameras, just back to that subject, they are a wonderful thing. And even if, like I say, this camera wasn't activated today where this lady got ripped off, but all I have to do is activate the camera, and Ring already has the recording probably for several months back, and they'll say, hey, here it is. So I'm I'm hoping that and I don't have that much faith in it. Listen, I've had this last year, 2024, I guess it's 2024. I've had a bobcat, a skid steer, if you will, stolen off my property. I've had $105,000, just 2 checks. I wrote a check for $99,000, another check for $5,500. Fraudulent checks out of my bank account. They basically made them, and they actually, the money was withdrawn, but I caught it, and I don't even know what the bank did. Didn't matter. It wasn't my problem. Hey, Shane, and so. So, all this theft. And then I had, and I'll show you this. So check this out. Yeah, this is another theft. Okay, so take a look at this. This building you see right here. Let me see if we can drive around this one. No, this one doesn't let you drive around it. anyways, you can see this conduit right here. That's a conduit coming up from an electrical box. Well, there used to be some pretty heavy-duty conduit running from here all the way across the back here, kind of where the phone number is on the screen, right? See that cursor there, everybody? And we're talking a conduit this big with copper lines the size of your fingers running through it, hundreds of feet. And these son of a bitches turned off the power, jumped on the roof, cut this thing up in 20-foot lengths, and then pulled the copper out. Now those lines run inside my building where they can't be assessed, or accessed, I should say. I got the tax assessor on my mind. If you can't tell, I was talking to him today. And anyways, so like I say, just in 2024, $10,000, maybe $15,000 skid steer, $105,000 in checks, $50,000 in copper. You know, there's 150 grand, and I think I'm leaving something out. That's just goddamn thieves are everywhere. It's just very, very frustrating. And I've caught many of them. And like I say, I a lot of convenience thieves, they walk around, I can check the cameras, and I'll see them checking the doors, if they're unlocked or not, or car doors, that sort of thing. Anybody got any theft stories I want to share? Hey, listen, I got a webinar tonight. I really want you guys to come in here, 7 p.m. tonight. 10 minutes, it can change your life. I sincerely mean it. Shane's one of them. Shane, yeah, you tell him your story, man. Maybe you pop in the class tonight, Shane, because Shane is a wonderful example of a guy that came in. He heard me talk, and he realized pretty quickly I'm real. Most people realize I'm real pretty quickly. And I got the credibility. I got all the assets and, many years of experience, and it's easy to establish. Don't have to bullshit anybody. These are all properties I've owned. Anyway, Shane gets in the class, and correct me if I'm wrong, Shane, but Shane made $13,000, then he made $100,000, then he made about $120,000, and then he just did another deal, another 125, maybe 140. Anyhow, roughly about $350,000 profit. Well, he made 150 of that in the first 7 months, and I don't even think it's been 18 months, maybe 2 years at the most, and now he's up to $350,000. You don't think that's life changing? I mean, that is life changing, right? Like I said, I interviewed Shane. You can actually see Shane, by the way. Let me just show you real quick here. Great guy, really, really, Shane. And this is the thing. To get in my class, you have to be an asset to the class and to yourself. And if you're not an asset to the class and yourself, then, I won't even, it's just not time to be in the class yet. But there's Shane right there, just so you can see him. I want you to see him. Great guy. And when I interviewed him there, he was up to 200K profit. Now he's 320, 350, something like that. And, it's just a hell of a deal. And all these people here, some made more than him, some made less. But, it's a very profitable, very great place. 50. Oh, he's got another one. 50. Oh, that's right. He could have made 100. Okay. What he did is he made a deal to a family friend and gave it to him for about 50, 60 off. So, and that's one of the things that's wonderful about real estate is, I put my kids in properties, I just pass the good deal on to them. I don't even have to dig out of my pocket. I just save them hundreds of thousands of dollars on a single house. It's a hell of a gift. Over 100 on the fifth and all under 2 years, man. Fifth, you see, he's got a fifth property. Holy crap. That's awesome, Shane. So think about that. Shane, if you don't mind, I'm going to just share just a brief. I just want you guys to see.
Yes, I'm close on it now. I'm painting now and don't have probably another 3 weeks and it'll be listed. Should make at least 100.
Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA, got a very special guest here. This is Shane George. He's a fantastic student. He's already made 3 deals. Shane, welcome to the podcast, and I appreciate you taking time here to share your success with everybody. So I want you to see that, like I say, Shane, I'm not even sure what your skill set is. I mean, I'm a carpenter. That's my skill set. But here, let's take a look at some of his stuff. And you've got another one you've already got under contract or you purchased. Phil, you might make another 100,000 on, correct?
Yes, I'm close on it now.
This is done. He's already made the money.
I'm painting now and don't have probably another 3 weeks and it'll be listed. Should make at least 100.
So Shane, how long have you been in the mentorship now?
I think it's around 8 or 9 months right now.
So think about that. He's been in there 8 or 9 months, and at this point, he'd already done 2 or 3 deals, and he's in the class right now. Right now, he's in here. If you want to chat or write him, you can. And this isn't even planned. It's just a pleasure that you're in here, Shane. Vic, Shane, if you want to call in, or anybody wants to call in, call in. And you know, listen, if you don't take an interest in, you know, like I said earlier, a good life is by design, and I don't understand it. I've been paranoid about not having enough money since I was very young. But I come from, and this is probably the advantage of coming from a struggling household, where there is no money, is when you can't go do certain things with the other kids, go to camp, that sort of thing, because your parents don't have the $80 for the 2 weeks you could be gone in camp. Or you're wearing some shit clothes, and because you're getting hand-me-downs. That's my life as a kid, and it's not bad. I mean, I had great parents. They just didn't have any money, and I would just tell you, take 10 minutes to get in the webinar tonight. And a lot of you guys don't like me pushing it, but what's cool is while we're sitting here casually talking about the webinar, we get to talk about the students, we get to talk about the deals made, and listen, what's really cool is every deal you make, there's a story, right? There's a story. You know what I mean? When I hear some goofball like Ryan Pineda, who I think he's a nice kid, and I think he's an honest kid, but he doesn't have any real estate chops. I mean, this kid, he's all over the place. But the problem is you don't have those experiences. I think he says he's bought 200 houses. I don't believe it. Or he bought it with a bunch of other people, or he counts. I don't know what he's counting, but I know. When you've done it, you know what's possible and what's not possible. And I don't think I doubt he's ever made $1 million on a piece of property, to be quite honest. And I don't think, and that goes for all the most well-known gurus out there, and I'd be glad to go toe-to-toe on stage. Let's compare deals. Let's talk about how many times we've made $1 million on a piece of property, how many times we've made $100,000 in a couple of days. I'd be happy to have those conversations with these guys that I think are fake gurus that can't do that. And that's most of them. Most of them can't do it. And that's why I say you get screwed when you trust, right? Trust but verify. So Brian Gonzalez wrote, Tom, what skill do you recommend for real estate? Common sense, number one. He goes, I'm able to go to college for free and want to be in a better position to save money for all real estate. I was thinking about accounting as a skill. Okay, so Brian, great question. And I'm glad you asked that. So look, I got 4 kids, right? I've got 29-year-old, how old's Kelly? 27, 26? 26-year-old, and then I got 2 boys, 21, right? Okay. The girls went to college, and really nobody in my family ever has, but they went to college, and so I'm not a big advocate of college, but I appreciate you get a skill, and I'm a little bit more now. So Brian, let me just give you an example. My son, who is not going to college. He actually, my boys wanted to drop out of school like I did, and I was like, maybe. And but they're sharp and bright, and it turned out they had enough credits at 10th grade that they could actually graduate early. So they got to graduate early. They got out of school about the same time I did, but they got out early, and as a result, they started pursuing what they loved, and they have different interests than me. Now, my one son got interested in real estate in large part because of guys like Shane making money. That my kids took notice. Wow, Dad, your students are making a lot of money. I go, of course, in my mind, I'm like, no shit, son, what took you so long? Sorry, son. But it's cool. And so now I get to work with my son. My son's probably made as much as an investor, he's already made probably as much as my daughter, who graduated from accounting, by the way, who is it? Brian. So look, my daughter is an accountant. My daughter went through school, and believe me, accountants have no problem getting a job. They're trying to romance you. They call it intern. They have you come out and look. They check you out. And anyways, my daughter's a bright one. She got with a big company that, loved her. And she's making 6 figures a year now, and she's a young lady, but that sounds good to most everybody, right? And I'm proud of her, and it's great. But again, and she knows it ain't enough. And now she's investing. By the way, yeah, I got her a deal on a piece of property, and now she's got she's got a house. She's got $400,000 equity in her first house. And, and half of it was because she got it under market. So here's the dilemma you'll have, Brian. I mean, I don't know what can you do right now to make money? And I mean this sincerely. What are you doing right now to make money? And how old are you? I can't say that college is the route to go, because there's a thing they used to say. If you go to work for the government, this is when the government didn't pay shit. They'd say, you can go to work for the government and you'll have a job forever. In other words, it's just reliable. You can always have the job. It doesn't pay the most, but it's reliable. You get benefits. This is like all the way from the 60s, right? Well, now the government is probably the only job you can get that actually has benefits and retirement and that sort of thing. All the big companies, they don't do it anymore. It's like you get paid and then you're done. In other words, it's what you save, which is more entrepreneurial, right? In other words, the only, I tell people when I've gotten into some disputes in, neighborhoods, I say, listen, I'm an investor. I say, I'm buying real estate and rentals and different things, and that's my hedge. That's how I'm, I'm going to be buying properties and renting them out until I can't do it anymore. And then when I can't do it anymore, the idea is to have enough that I can live comfortably, right? That's what everybody wants. And so it's, so that's the attitude. And by the way, Shane just wrote in here. Shane wrote, Tom totally changed my life. I had never bought a home before besides the one I live in. Wow, see, yeah, I didn't even know that. So it's amazing. And Robert's also another one. Robert's killing it. He's in a different country, and he's killing it. So he wrote, hey, Tom, always great to hear good advice. So, hey, Robert, I've been trying to get you to write me. If you would just email me, Tom at FlipAnythingUSA, I'm going to put you in the mentorship, buddy. I'm just going to put you in there. Robert has been an amazing student from afar, but I really want you in the class. So if you would, Robert, throw me an email, Tom at FlipAnythingUSA. I'm going to put you in the class. Anyways, so who else? Alberto Cruz. Hey, as time goes by and I meet more realtors, I realize a lot of them are not good. Really? No, they're not. Alberto, do you have my book, Alberto? Okay. If you don't have my book, you should definitely have my book, Wake Up and Smell Another. I have a thing in my book, it's called the 80-20 rule, where 20% of the realtors do 80% of the business, and the other 80% of the realtors do 20% of the business. Of course they're not good investors. That's how it works. They're not good investors. That's why when you see a Ryan Pineda or, and I won't name the others that I've picked on for a long time, but they're not like Graham Stephan. Nice kid, right? Nice kid. A brilliant investor, no. But super duper YouTuber making a lot of money. And that's awesome for him. And, what you want is somebody that's actually started from nothing, that actually built their wealth buying and selling and renting or whatever, being creative with real estate. That's the stuff you need to, yeah, there you go, Alberto. So go back and look at about realtors, my chapter on realtors, and you'll hear about the 80-20 rule. Listen, you don't even want a bright realtor. Are you kidding? You don't want a particularly bright realtor. And Murray, if you're watching, I'm not talking about you. Okay, I have a lot of realtors that I deal with that are actually quite bright and good friends. But you don't always want the best and brightest. But the thing is they make their money by taking a piece of the action, and that's what they're resolved to do, and that's what they do. And if you're a good buyer and, you can return the favor, you say when you find something you want to buy that's not really as good a deal as you'd like it, it's not like, it doesn't, I tell my students all the time, if it doesn't feel like Christmas, don't buy it. So if you get a great deal but it's not quite good enough, you might just hand it off to the realtor friend of yours like I do with mine and say, here, maybe you can sell this for this person, and, you'll get them more than I'm going to pay for it because I won't pay full price. Somebody else might, and you'll get a commission too. So it's a win-win for them. And so that's what it is. But look, how old are you, Alberto Cruz? Also, are you going to be in the webinar tonight? Really, everybody should be in the webinar tonight. If you're over 30 and you're not worth $1 million, and even if you are, I don't care if you're a multimillionaire, you definitely, if you don't have real estate as a part of your portfolio, you're missing out. Okay, and I'm not trying to get people to invest with me. I don't do that. A lot of these guys, they kind of tend to throw stuff around. They pretend they're mentors, but really the trap is they're trying to get your phone number so they can. Chris Crone is notorious, right? Wants to know if you got a 401k or do you have equity in your home? Can you pull it out? You can invest with him, which I think would be a giant nightmare. Jacob wrote, thanks, Jacob. Jacob wrote, the book is so good. I got the audio book too, read by Tom himself. Awesome book with tons of great info. Yeah, I appreciate that, Jacob. So yeah, and I'll tell you what, I got some, you may want to go get the Kindle too. And I'll tell you why. If you get the Kindle, there's relative videos that you can click on from the Kindle book and watch that are relative to the subject that I'm talking about. In the audio book, as you know, Jacob, I go off topic and I talk about some things that aren't necessarily in the book. So there's, each one's got, but the book itself is good because I show my actual contracts, things that how I entice and talk to people, but also, it gives you a little bit of a template that you can, recreate for yourself. So thanks, Jacob, for mentioning that, by the way. And Jacob, if you're not in the class, get in the webinar tonight. And listen, I got so many great people here that in the audience, and I'd love to meet you. And I don't have the biggest, guys, I'm not the slickest YouTuber. Also, I talk my mind about politics. YouTube punishes the shit out of me. They make it so there is zero reach. I don't really get out and see. So just the fact that you find me, you're lucky that you found me, because most people can't find me. YouTube just squelches my account where it just doesn't have the growth. And it's unfortunate. I've wasted a lot of years here on YouTube. I wish I could sue them. I would, but I don't think I have any basis to do it. But it is what it is. Anyways, what else? Anybody want to call in? There's the number, 424-866-7929. I'd like to hear from somebody that has money in the bank but doesn't trust anybody and doesn't know what to do with their money, or just, the most common problems are, yeah, we got money, we saved it, but we're afraid. They're afraid of the downside, and that's a good thing. You wouldn't have that money in the bank if you weren't careful, but you can be too productive, right, or too protective. We call it paralysis by analysis. You're thinking about it forever. My dad was actually kind of guilty of that a little bit, whatever. Not everybody is. And listen, I don't let everybody in. And but the fact is, if I say you're in, it means you've got the traits that will make you successful. And because that goes for Shane and all these other folks that you see, in here behind me. These are all people that I could see, man, you got it. You got the right attitude. It's not about money. It's not about money. Obviously, you got to have enough money to pay me, but you got to need a little bit of money for a deposit and invest. But that's it. So look, let's get this. Let's make this exciting. Somebody get on the phone here, argue with me, something. I don't know. Let's. Oh, hey, Robert. So Robert, you're going to write me, right? Just Robert. You're going to send me. You're going to email me, right? I want to make sure you do, bud, because I'm going to put you in the class, okay? Gratis, okay? And I've never done that for anybody before, but I'm doing it for you. Jacob wrote, my daughter Christine and I spoke with you. Oh, yeah, about the mentorship. We're going in December. Can't wait. Hey, Jacob, I'm so glad. Jacob, you know what? Maybe get in the webinar tonight, you and your daughter, and I'm looking forward to you being in here. Also, Jacob is somebody that he's wasted his money with another guy, and should I mention it? His initials or PM? Anyways, I don't want to put you on the spot. Anyways, redact that. Yeah, I can't. Too late. Anyways, but listen, you ain't gonna ever listen. I tell everybody, you get in my course, you ain't never gonna have to take another real estate course again. Okay, ever. And within a few months, you'll probably be smarter than half the guys that are on YouTube preaching about the benefits of real estate, and that's just the truth. Yeah, Alberto. So this is interesting. I like this. Why don't you call in, Alberto? Would you recommend having good credit before anyone join the mentor? No. Listen, if you can afford the mentorship and you got a little bit of cash besides that to invest or put a deposit down, I mean, you want people to oh yeah, thanks, Jacob. He says go for it. Okay, Pace Morby, him and his daughter. You got him and this is a father-daughter team. Great people. I've visited quite a while on the phone with them, but they realized they screwed up. They realized they screwed up by getting in a Pace Morby class, and it's the truth. And listen, Pace, if you're doing, maybe you want to give them their money back, or maybe you can take some time with them and make it worth their while. But in all honesty, I don't think Pace Morby. Listen, if you haven't lived it, listen, I've been buying real estate since before Pace Morby was born. Let me tell you, decades of real experience. You can't replace it. It's different. Yeah, and so Robert, who I just told him I'm putting him in the class free, he just wrote, you already did so much. Thanks to you, I bought more property. 8 houses so far. This is kick-ass. Robert is a cop in, I want to say Spain, and I mean, it's just awesome. It's just awesome, and you know, and guess what? You know, he's done well. He's done well. He's a wealthy man now, and I'm excited for you. It really is. It really is a cool thing, Robert. And I'm so happy that you know. Listen, I've had people in Spain, other countries get in the class, do very, very well, and it's fun. It's fun. Kovacs. I think that's Bulgarian. I actually have another girl in my class, Anna Marie. And she told me, oh, it's fun, Kovacs. Oh, yeah, I think you said that's Bulgarian. Anyways, but it's a very, very cool community, and I want you guys to be a part of it. Portugal. Sorry, Robert. Listen, I'm getting old. I'm screw those. I'm and anyways, I remember numbers better than I remember names and that sort of thing. But numbers I rarely forget when I associate them with the real estate especially. Okay, so look, I'm telling, this is kind of a infomercial, if you will, because I'm here to plug to get in the webinar tonight. I rarely do them. Webinar tonight, Thursday. I'm going to start doing them every Thursday for a while. And one of the main reasons I'm doing it, I'm telling you, it's because of the new management. The country's going under new management. You know, you guys have seen a restaurant that's run like shit, and then all of a sudden it says new management. And then you go, well, maybe we'll give it a try, right? Maybe we'll give it a try. Well, that's what the United States, it's under new management. And we already know it's going to be better because that management has been in place before. It makes a hell of a difference. And so I'm very, very excited about, the country being run by a new manager. See, I'm almost afraid to say names because of what YouTube does, man. They read the video, they transcribe the video, and then they look at the transcription and go, oh, he said that person's name. Oh, he said a bad, and then they connect, oh, he's saying bad things about this person or good things about this person. They don't like either. And if YouTube, if I'm wrong, please correct me because I feel like I've been screwed by you guys terribly. All right. Oh, hey, we got a call. We're going to take this call. Hey, caller, can you hear me?
Hey Tom, how you doing? It's Alberto.
Oh, hey Alberto, I'm glad you called in. You've been watching for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm here and there, man. I actually had the show on speaker, and my mom was in the background, and she's like, "You should call in. I actually have a question for Tom." I said, "Well, I'll call him. Ask the question." And she's like, "Ask him if it's a good idea. If it's a good idea to buy property now that the interest gone down."
Okay, listen, one thing. Hey, Kevin Silva, no, you do not need the webinar is to entice you to become a member. I'm not talking to you for a minute, Alberto. Bear with me. Yeah, Kevin, no, get in the webinar is how you get into the mentorship. It's how you check me out and how I check you out, to be quite honest. So look, Alberto, when you say, is it a good idea to buy because of the interest rates down? No, that's not enough of a reason. It's just not enough of a reason. And so I'm going to go here I'm bringing up the screen here. The beauty of real estate is it's just math. It's not hard to figure out, right? It's math. All you got to do is go, what's the rent or what's it worth? Number one, what's it worth? What am I paying for it, right? If it's worth 5, I want to pay 3, okay? Or I want to pay 2 or 1, something under 3. If it's worth 5, I want to pay 1 to 3 for it, right? 10% to whatever, maybe let's say 20 to 60% of what it's worth. That's the most I want to pay for it. And the reason I do that is, I want to make a profit. That's the whole purpose. And if you look, I just want you to look at it this way. Everybody, have you ever been to a ring toss? This might be a good, let me just see if we can do this. Let's look up ring toss. Ring toss. Like at a carnival game, right? So let's watch this. Yeah, okay, so check this out.
Hi guys, my name is Mike.
This is a ring toss.
It's been around forever. Calvin's object is to get a ring on the bottle.
Okay.
A lot of people think it doesn't fit, but as you can see, every ring fits on every bottle.
Okay, so look, we all know what a ring toss is, right? You throw it. Now, there used to be some of the ring tosses, you throw the ring and it has to go completely over, right? In other words, if it's hanging, they call it a hanger, it doesn't count. It has to go completely over. Okay. If you have enough rings
They throw it high up in the air.
and you keep throwing them and you keep throwing them, eventually you're going to get one, right? Guess what? That's numbers, right? That's just math. In other words, if you try enough, eventually you'll get it. That's real estate, okay? Now, this guy's teaching a technique, right? Ring toss techniques, how to win a giant prize, okay? And this is brand new. I'm discovering this with you as we go along. Do you mind, Albert? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. So, and this is also for your benefit and your mom's. So, in other words, when I say ring toss, we're not saying buy a chance and throw it out there. I'm saying the toss in the ring, the analogy is here, look for deals. Now, this guy's saying, don't just toss the ring. He's telling you, he's got some techniques. Like, I don't know what the techniques are, but he's saying how to win a giant prize. He's going to give you the technique of how to hook it. That's what I do. I'm going to give you the techniques, the fundamentals. I'm going to give you the most important stuff. You're going to learn from me. You're going to get anywhere else. There's no school for this shit except for me. Okay, now there's some other people, I'm saying, the other people obviously know some about properties. I don't know anybody as good as I am, and that's just the truth. But I've got the proof, and I don't know anybody's got a record of success or student success like I got. But look at it like this. It's like a ring toss. These are houses, right? And so the analogy is you're not throwing a ring, but you're applying the fundamentals that will get you one of these prizes, that will get the ring over the top or get the offer signed, that you will get it, and then you'll get the big prize. That's what I'm trying to tell you and everybody. And Clint, oh, this is awesome. Hey, Clint. Clint and his wife are a husband and wife team. They just did their first deal. I think they made $70,000. He's only been in the class less than a year, too. So congrats on that, Clint. And that's really, really cool. He's watching now, too. So look, back to your question, Alberto. So, Alberto, it's not enough to say, the interest rates went down, let's buy a property. No, that's a retail buyer. You never want to be a retail buyer. And so I'm just going to go back and just show you guys a property. Let me find something from the past. Okay. You're probably thinking more like a house or something, right?
You're talking to me, Tom?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Sorry about that. Yes, sir. So
yeah. My mom was she was saying, hey, my grandma was thinking of maybe buying a house, and they were just talking about it randomly. They're like, ask them if it'd be a good time to. And like I said, she was just on the background here. And I said, I'll call in and ask them.
Right.
That's already the question she had.
Listen, it's always a good time to buy real estate, and this is something I pound into the heads of my students: is there is no bad real estate. There's just bad deals. Now, look at this place behind me, right? This is not the most attractive house, but I bought this in like 1987 for $40,000, sold it for $56,000, and I had a partner, so I had to split the money basically. Somebody else bought this property, this same property. Somebody else just bought this recently for $80,000, sold it for $200,000. Now here they are buying it from. I sold it for $56,000. 40 years later, somebody gets it for $80,000 when it was worth about $200,000. And they bought it for $80,000, put a little paint and cleaned it up, and they sold it for $200,000, made $100,000. Now the guy that bought it for $200,000 has it up for sale for $300,000, right? So in other words, the great thing about real estate is it just gets better, right? It just gets better. And I'm not saying you can't have a downturn, and I was explaining on the property that I lost money on the other day, but real estate just gets better, but don't count on it. Don't be a speculator. In other words, if this property's worth 80 grand, I'm not going to pay 75 for it because that's like nothing, right? That's almost like 4% fluctuation. It goes down. Now it's worth less than what I paid for it. So that's why you have to buy it for, 30%, 40% off. It's the only way to go. But so yeah. So in other words, and remember, when I was buying these properties, interest rate was 10%, right? None of you have to pay 10% right now. I was paying 10% interest from 1980 all the way to 1990. One exception, I got one property for 9.25% interest. And things were coming down from 12 and even 15% interest. In fact, the building I bought over here, I bought that one 10% interest, owner carried. And so what you need to do, really, most important thing you can do, Alberto, is get educated. I mean, do you have much money saved, buddy?
Yeah, actually, I think I told you a while back. I was getting prepared since back then. So I'm gonna be giving you a call pretty soon here because I think I told you I had a couple of deals that I did, and but I need to. I had to set myself up. I just bought a house, actually, a property myself. So.
Did you buy it right?
I just when I call you, yeah, I got the lot actually. When I think I talked about it where I bought the lot for like 29. So they offered me like not even a couple months later, like an extra 20 grand on top of that. So I know there was some equity in that. Then I put a manufactured home on it. So I just got I'll get my stuff together, but you'll be receiving a call from me because I'm not gonna do anything else.
Yeah, you don't. And listen, me too. One of the most common things. By the way, Brian just wrote in here. Brian's also in my class, and Brian wrote, "I bought real estate last year. I was in your class. Tom is very smart." And I remember. I know you, Brian. I didn't recognize your name. It was familiar when I saw you, but yeah, the problem with buying a manufactured home, and I have students that are actually doing well. They're actually putting manufactured home, but really they're getting the land. They're getting the land. They're making a lot of the money they're making is on the land. And but when you get a property, you subdivide the land. If you do that, you can buy just a single lot and put a trailer on it. But you want to make the money. I mean, number one is the property you buy itself. You want to make the money on the property. Now, making money on a brand new manufactured home, think about it. You're buying a brand new manufactured home. You got no advantage over everybody else. In other words, the manufacturer is going to charge you and everybody else the same price within 5%, for maybe a preferred VIP dealer or something. But either way, you're going to be paying full retail for that home, that mobile home. So you got no advantage over anybody. You're just like, you're like somebody that has a retail store that buys a toy and sells it for a 20, 30% markup. That's not where you want to be. But really, what I would have you do, Alberta, when you get through with that stuff is, and we'll have a talk again, but get your cash out of there, have some money in your hand, because the few thousands of dollars that you'll spend with me, and I don't upsell anybody to anything else. I don't say, oh, now that you're in, you need to get an LLC. Oh, now that you're in, you need to, whatever, do some other bullshit. I don't do that. And the thing is, you just need to know what to do with the money that you got. You just need to know that the cash is a super tool. It's a super tool. All these properties, right? This is my 20s, right? There's probably 100 properties that I bought before I was 30 years old. And before I was 28 years old. And I got 60 or 70 properties right here alone, right behind my head. These ones right here. But those were like $10,000 and $20,000 profits each. That's what you want to do. I mean, if you can just buy a lot and make 10 grand, or buy a lot and make 20 grand, or buy a lot and make 100 grand. Chris in the class, he tied up a lot, got in a subdivision they were breaking up, got in early, tied, for for $1,000, he got to have first choice of the 5 lots, or you kind of mark your place. Say, yeah, here's $1,000. Let me know when you finalize it, and then I'll buy it. And you agree it's like 100 grand you're going to buy it for. Well, sometimes it takes so long to go through that you're risking $1,000. But now when it finally does go through and you get the lots are approved, they're subdivided, they're done. Now they're worth $200 or $250. That happens. That's what happened to Chris. And so he got it. So he said, okay, I'm ready. That's when the lot was ready. He took it, he turned it immediately and made $100,000. And those are the things you can do. And, and you learn so much. You just learn so much in the class. And so, I obviously I'm biased because I teach it and my students are fantastic. But I hope that little analogy I meant with the ring toss, something how I think about it all the time. You don't have to be the smartest person. You just have to have the most common sense. And as long as you got common sense, you'd be unstoppable. And, a little bit of money. So, Brian, how do you make your money? What do you do for a living? Brian?
You said Brian, or
Brian,
are you talking to me?
I'm mixing up. I'm looking at Brian. Alberto.
Oh, no. I'm a postal employee. I'm a carrier, the one that delivers mail, and then I have my own cleaning business, like commercial cleaning business.
Yeah, see, you're perfect. That's it. You're a hustler. You got a job, and you do got. It reminds me of the old Saturday Night Live. You only got 3 jobs. You know what I mean? And so, yeah.
I think. I don't know if you remember when we talked a while back. Well, the guy that I bought my land from, where I put my manufacturing home, he had like 10 acres. I asked him, "You got more for sale?" He's like, "Yeah, as a matter of fact." And I said, "Let me help you sell them." And I sold them, and he gave me a little.
I remember your story
or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, but from then I bought 2 myself, and then I flipped them. I owner finance. But then I feel like I got lucky. So that's why I want to call you and eventually join the membership, because I still get money from that, but I don't want to feel like I'm lucky. I want to know what I'm doing with that money.
Yeah. Now, when you don't know what you're doing and you make money, you are lucky. But that's okay. You still learn. Either way, you can still reflect on the experience that you did, that you made money from, and go, yeah, I got lucky, but why did I make money? And you can analyze it. And so, no, I'm excited for you. Listen, get in the webinar tonight, please. If you haven't been in one before,
okay.
Yeah, get in 7 p.m. I've
been in some while back.
Okay, good. Well, I look forward to seeing you there. And
all right, Tom.
All right.
Well, thank you, man. Appreciate you, Tom.
Yeah, put your grandma in there too. We'll see you later. Might be a great team.
All right, thank you.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
All right. So those of you guys that just getting in here, I got a webinar tonight, 7 p.m. And if you just here for the first time, please hit that subscribe button. And anybody wants to call in, the line is open. Any question you got on real estate, don't even, there is no dumb questions. What's dumb is not knowing and not trying to figure out. That's the dumbest thing you can do, is just assuming something. Never assume, right? Never assume. You want to know the answers. You want to know why, whatever you don't know, you want to know. You want to know. The people that, like he just said, he realizes he got lucky. But I'll tell you something, the harder you work, the luckier you get. But yeah, this is really cool. So yeah, I like this during the day. I got Brian, I got Clint, Robert, we got Shane, all people that have made money, since being in the class or got the book anyways. And, it's just it's a really, really cool thing. So listen, we don't have that many watchers because that's normal. But anybody got a question? Anybody got something? Throw a little life into the program here. Pitch in, call up, whatever. Ask a question. Clint, if you're still watching, Clint, are you pursuing anything else? Have you got anything else that looks promising? Clint just actually, him and his wife, nice team. They've already, it's just neat. He's in the class, and sometimes he's got kids crawling around behind him in the minivan. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah. So anyways, I'll be popping in and out today, anyways. Talking about different things. But the main thing is really, I'm just here to enlighten people, and I don't care about if you join the class or not. But I'd like you to entertain the idea if you can afford to, or if you don't have real estate. Desmond just wrote, would your strategy be successful in Hawaii? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anywhere in the USA for sure, and anywhere it's free. Listen, there's different convoluted, stories in different places, or rules in different places. But you got Robert here's in Portugal. Yeah, he's got eight houses now, and he's flipped several properties, and he's in really. Just what we've talked. He's the equivalent of what a millionaire is for sure in the USA. Things are cheaper there, but he's a killer, and that's the thing. Sometimes you're like a wolf among sheep, okay? Because most people are like, duh, or they're just like, they're just not motivated. So we got another call. Let's see who's calling. Thank you for calling in, by the way, whoever this is. Hey, caller, who do we have on here?
Hey, it's Mike.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Where are you from, Mike?
I'm right now I'm in Williston, North Dakota. I was in the trucking business. Just retired.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
Yeah, I've read your book. We have the same backstory. I mean, you went to Lancaster, dropped out of high school, and went to Apple Valley.
You went to Apple Valley, Hesperia?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I was brought up in
I thought I was a desert rat. You're like at a different level.
Started hustling at 16, Fuller Brush, would you like a free gift, door to door.
Oh, really?
And anyways, yeah. Anyways, here, let me turn this down.
Sure. So I'm taking the map to Apple Valley. This guy I was in the desert. He was in like a whole nother level of desert. Yeah, I had
yeah, I love.
Yeah, and so, but see, this is it. Even though he's in Apple Valley, there's a fortune to be made out here in the desert, believe me. Did you ever go to Lake Los Angeles?
No.
How about, remember there's a big water attraction out there somewhere, Lake Dolores.
On the way to Barstow, yeah, we had our senior high school trip there, right.
Nice.
We got a big water slide.
Yeah, so it's funny because Lake Dolores is no longer. But I'm going to show this to people because, listen, I come from the desert, man, and this is Lake Dolores now. It's not even a lake anymore. But yeah, this is it. Well, I don't know if you can see it on the screen. So check this out. This is like basically a little mud puddle out in the middle of the desert. Water surrounded this little island, and I think boats could only go one way. Otherwise it'd be terrible. But you know it, right?
Right.
Yeah, and so then this was I guess this is the parking lot. Somebody tried to revive it. Let's just see if we can go down on it because you can't even go. I can't get down on I can't get on the street. Even Google doesn't go out there. But here, look at this. There's on the screen here. You can see this. They had a little water slide. This actually wasn't even there when I was there when I was a kid. But
which screen
on the computer? If you look on the computer,
are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you and everybody. On the screen right now, you'll see the remnants of Lake Dolores.
Oh, you know what? I must be in a different section because anyway, home. Yeah. I stopped it so I could hear you, but now it's timed out.
I got you.
But anyways,
I'm just showing the remnants of the old vending there that was there. So anyways, let's talk about real estate. What you're a retired truck driver, and
I read your book. I studied it.
Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. All right. I read your book. I studied it. I've got about almost 100 flashcards for it. And I know that if you get into this, you're going to require a lot of home inspections, which are $300-500. So right now I'm taking a home inspection class. It's about $1,000, 2 months worth of study. And then I'll be prepared. But I live up here currently I live up here in Williston, North Dakota, and there's hardly any houses for sale. So, like I said, I'm available to move anywhere in the country. I've got,
Dude,
a couple 100,000 saved up.
You don't have to move. It doesn't matter. You can make money anywhere. I have people that are in, towns of 4,500 that have made multiple millions, In fact, sometimes when you're in a small, I'm in Williston right now. I've got it up on the screen. Shit, there's all kinds of money.
Okay.
You got money all around you. You just don't know it. Yeah, you're in a fine place to make money. It doesn't even matter. You're fine.
Oh.
Yeah, you can kill it there. There's no question.
Okay, a friend of mine who was in real estate, he told me, well, there's not much available
Listen,
up here.
most people don't
he
know what
was
the
a
hell
real-
they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. Agents don't know what they're talking about. I'm just telling you, you can't consider, and I don't mean to say all agents because I have agents, but a lot of agents, they don't know what they're doing. 80% of them have very little knowledge. Yeah, so listen,
I have
I would
another
never
question.
advise somebody take a home inspection class course. And that's fine that you're doing it because you're retired. You can do whatever you want. But like I'm looking at Williston, North Dakota, and populate. Oh shit, 27,000. Yeah, that's big. I'm just telling you, we have people making millions of dollars in a town of 4,500. So you're in great shape. And so those of you that are watching, don't think. You make assumptions like kind of the ones you're making, and you don't realize that you're in a great place, right? I don't know if you were devastated by the pipeline stuff, but now you got Trump in there, so probably things will be getting a lot better because it's a drill, baby, drill now. So
exactly.
yeah, so you might be in a very opportune time where you're at. I mean, a killer good time. So, and I'm not much of a speculator, but listen, if you're going to be flipping and making money on property, it's just an extra hedge of safety for you if you can kind of do it in an area that's going up in value, and I believe you will be where you're at. So, listen, go get into the webinar tonight. And what was your name again?
Okay.
Mike. Okay. Yeah, Mike, get in the
Gillis,
webinar
yeah.
tonight because, this is the thing. People, they think YouTube University, listen, there's a lot of information out there, right? And there's a lot of horrible shit, garbage information out there. And so people take in things and they, from somebody that presents himself well, and they think, well, that sounds like a good idea. And it's a horrible idea. But they don't know. But if they looked into a little bit more about the guy that's telling them, they're an article reader, right? There's a lot of article readers out there that simply give advice based on advice that they read about. It's a joke. There's so many YouTubers that led people off a cliff, including themselves. And you can see it all around. Actually, Ryan Pineda is somebody that he was entertaining buying this property, and I got on and I go, no, don't do this. It's a piece of shit. It ain't worth. You think it's projected at worth $10 million? It's not worth. I wouldn't pay $2 million for it. And they were really upset that I commented how I did. And then he does a video 2 years later and talks about the $1 million he had to throw into that property because nobody. I mean, it was a mistake, giant mistake. He basically said it was a giant mistake. And he should have called me and thanked me for the advice that I gave him that he didn't take. And then, he talked about flipping. He bought too many houses or with his partners, and he's losing money. He didn't understand. He just doesn't understand money management. But now he does. He's got a better lesson on it now. But you can't afford to invest with somebody or take advice from somebody that's making mistakes. Brandon, Beardy
Right.
Brandon, Beardy Weirdy Brandon. I call him Beardy Weirdy because he's weirdly successful, but it's not, or it's weirdly claiming success because Beardy Brandon, right? He's probably most of you guys love this guy. I don't dislike him, but listen, from what I gather, this guy barely had any real estate chops at all, but he had an interest in it. And then he becomes the face of Bigger Pockets. And he's an article reader. He's an interviewer. Big deal. That means nothing. But that exposure that he got and the trust that he gained from so many people allowed him to, create a contact list. And then he did this open door capital. And everybody's like, the people that liked him were like, oh yeah, he was always been fun to watch. I guess I'll throw in with Brandon on Open Door. And so, then they, whatever the falling out was, he quit doing it. But his claim to fame is this Open Door. Well, go to Reddit. Go to Reddit. Okay, I'm going to go there right now. You go to Reddit.
Okay.
And which is a great place to go to check on things and just look up Open Door Capital. Open Door. I think it's Open Door Capital, right? Yeah, and so does anybody here experience Open Door Capital? And so I go in there, and the first thing you're going to find out is the experiences aren't so good. It says the CEO brags on its paid mentorship, how he spends like 1 hour a week focusing on Open Door. Talking about Brandon now, right?
Right.
He really uses his name to bring in more and more money for himself. You know, he's not involved. Even launched a paid marriage counseling product. I don't know what that's about, but again, anyways, what the key thing here, and I read it here. Someone, update again. The month of October 2023. The NOI is now negative. Somebody invested in this, is negative 31%. And there's another one that they fell 40% of their projections. So somebody says, yeah, we're going to bring in 100, or 100K or 100 million or 100,000, whatever it is. And you end up hitting 40% shy of that. And then all of a sudden there's no distribution. You're counting on money coming in. There's no distribution. You got no power. You got nothing to do. You can't control it. You don't have any power. That's why so that's why I say beardy weirdy Brandon, because it's weird that he's advising people or mentoring people, because he doesn't appear to really know what he's doing, to be quite honest. And listen, I have no friends on YouTube, so there's no reason for me not to bash him too. But the fact is, it's just common sense. Listen, you look at somebody's credibility, look at their track record. If you don't, you're a fool anyways. A fool and his money are soon parted. But so, Mike, you're retired, and look, how much cash do you have put aside that you can spend on real estate?
A little over $250,000.
Oh shit, dude, you got $250,000 and you're retired, and do you have some sort of pension or no?
I just have my Social Security.
Okay,
but that leads me to this next question. Now, as if I do want to buy a house, I should probably just pay cash for it and then use that equity as a HELOC, right? To get a loan.
You don't own a house yet?
No.
Okay. Well, what's a house worth in Williston? I'm going to look it up while we're talking.
Yeah, I was thinking of buying one of these small fixer-uppers, $25,000, $40,000, fix it up.
Sure.
And then use the equity and go from there.
All right. So I'm looking in Williston right now, and we got homes that are $400,000. They look like there's some pretty new and recent homes. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this stuff looks pretty decent. You got, is it oil and gas? Is that what they're dependent on mostly, oil and gas?
Yes.
And how is it in there locally? It's going to be getting a lot better, obviously. But
well, it's going to get better.
Yeah, it's for sure going to get better. You got people that, it's so stupid the way the country's been run. It's so stupid. Anyways, we're back to.
But being retired, I won't be able to take out I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. So look, here's the deal. You've got $250,000. It's not that simple. Here's the deal. You got this chunk of cash. That is a huge chunk of cash, right? Most people don't have that. So you could find a property that maybe you need $50,000 to buy it. And then after you buy it with that, maybe buy something that's worth $100, or maybe pay $50 cash for something that's worth $100, sell it, and now you got another $50,000. That's how I did it. You can't afford not to flip in the beginning. You buy, you flip, you make $50, $100, $200, $300, $400,000, and then you do it again. And the next thing you know, you got more cash sitting in front of you than you've ever seen in your life. And then your choices expand. Now you can maybe say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and buy this little office or this little shopping center or this little industrial building, because for whatever $500,000, and now I'll get $70,000 a year income, and and that'll be a nice, it'll be a great investment. If whatever you got, $500,000, you buy something and you get $75,000 net income coming out of it, and really you probably have a property now that's worth $1 million. So these are the things you can do, and in fact. And I'll just do this just because, look, we're chatting here and viewers watching. I never mind doing this when there's even not that many viewers, because the power is.
Everyone listening out there, I highly recommend Tom's course, the mentorship program. I myself have made over $600,000 in a period of just a couple of months. Without the mentorship program, I would have never been able to do this transaction.
So Ken is an awesome guy. He was a firefighter, by the way, and it's funny because I have a fire truck behind there. It's actually a fire truck I bought. I flipped a fire truck and made, I don't know, I think I made $20,000. So I want you to take a look at this. Everybody watch this.
I read about that. It was in your book.
Yeah, so take a look at this. This little building, this is in California where it's impossible to make money, I'm told, which is bullshit. But anyways, Ken got this little building, 4,000 square feet. And take a look. What do we got?
4,100.
So you got 4,100 square feet. He's got this corner, which is nice, already beautiful. But take a look at this. Look what he's next to. He's got an enormous shopping center right next to him, only partially occupied. He had a massage tenant in there, which are awesome tenants for a lot of reasons. They take very little parking. So the bottom line, he's got this prime corner that he got, and he got it for peanuts, and he got it owner finance, and he basically made $600,000 the day that he bought it. And these are the kinds of things that I and he's been doing real estate for 40 years. And you just saw the testimony he made for me. I don't care if you've been doing this longer than me. I have been an avid, aggressive investor since 19 years old. Never stopped. And so when you've got full-time investor for that many years and all the deals and the headaches and the problems and the fights and the different things that you've encountered, you learn a lot. And that's what I get to expose my students to. And except they get a segue through the mistakes and be able to just basically dodge the bullets. And that are out there, but number one is find the jewels, find the treasure, and that's what you'll learn with me. So yeah, listen, I really want you to go to the webinar tonight. Fill out the mentorship survey if you would go fill out the mentorship survey. It'll give me a little bit more information on you. Take a look here. I show this to everybody, and I'm talking not just to the caller, but I'm talking to everybody. Fill out this mentorship survey. There's like next to nothing to put down here, and we'll have a call. And it's a couple questions. But it'll help me point you in the right direction, whether we do business together or not. It doesn't matter to me. I'm happy to point you to the best path possible, or what I think is the best path possible for you. But no, you're in a great position of power. You got $250,000 cash, but you don't really know what to do with it in real estate. So you got to be really, really careful. In other words, you could go buy a home and make a mistake. You know what I mean? I don't want you to make a mistake either. So, but if I had $250,000, I guarantee it. What I would be doing is I would probably concentrate on properties anywhere from $50,000 to $1 million, and because anything I buy for 50 is probably going to be worth 100, and anything that I buy, that's $1 million is probably going to be worth $1.5 million. And 250 is just enough to get in the door to put 25% down to buy $1 million building that's worth $1.5 million, and then I'd sell it. And now instead of 250, I'd have 750 when I'm done. And if with a little luck, maybe I would be able to roll that into a bigger, then I'd roll it maybe into a building. And listen, I have buildings, I have lines of credit that are worth millions of dollars. I can write a check for millions of dollars off of one building because I own it outright. And I have what you described, a HELOC, but it's called an RLOC, a revolving line of credit. I can pay the money back, take it out, pay it back, take it out. When it's paid up, there's no fees associated with it. I'm not generating any interest. You just have to renew them every couple of years at kind of a minimum amount. So anyways, yeah. But Mike, I am really glad you called in, and I'm glad you shared what you shared. Can you get in the webinar tonight?
Yes, I will, and then I can finish the other questions I have.
No, you can ask questions right now.
Then.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, then I guess my plan. Pardon me.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me your plan.
Okay.
Meantime, anybody else wants to call in,
okay.
Please do.
Well, I was a cabinet builder with my brother, and I was a maintenance man at House of Blues at Disneyland. So, I have a few skills. So I'm not afraid of fixer-uppers. So my plan was to buy something cheap, get in there, trick it out, and then sell it, and then use that as a jumping-off point, right? And then do that a few times. Since I'm retired and I cannot take out any loans, right?
Yeah. So you gotta, you're retired, and so it's almost like you're like a brand new kid out of high school. you don't have a job, okay? So you can't borrow money. They can see,
Right.
I mean, now you've got some cash. You can borrow money against your cash, which of course is a joke. You don't want to borrow money against your cash. But if you had it invested, if you had a house and you had equity, then you could, they would even make, some of them, they like you to have a job even when you're borrowing money against your house. You follow me? So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
oh yeah, they'd like to know that you have the ability to pay. Just because you have equity doesn't mean you necessarily have the cash flow to make your payments on time. You can still be a high risk and pay kind of too much for interest. But what I would tell you is, look, I rented so cheap. When I was a kid, I was barely home. I didn't even care. I could live in a tent. It probably wouldn't have mattered. It was just a place to, eat a TV dinner and crash for me because I was all about making money. I just nose down until I made my first million, really.
Right.
And then I started to breathe a little bit, started to enjoy myself a little bit. Hey, Russ, glad to see you in here, buddy. So actually, Russ is actually in the class, also made, several $1 million, really. So I got a lot of class people pop in here, and it's wonderful. But so, Russ, if you just got in, Mike here's got $250,000 cash, and he is retired. And he's trying to figure out what to do from here. And his plan was buy a house, sit on it, and have a line of credit coming out of it. But what I was telling him is the bank still likes to know that you have a job or you have an income of some sort. Social Security probably ain't enough to cut it. They want to know that we'll loan you money, that you can pay it back, that we're not going to have to foreclose on you. That's the biggest concern. And you may even be in an area where that might be a little bit of a concern. Where'd they shut that big pipeline down? Were you affected by that?
No, I don't know because at that time I had moved out of state into Minnesota with a different company. We were hauling dirt off road by then, so
I got you.
I was out of the oil by then.
Right. Well, see, either way,
but I'm back here now.
Here's a perfect example. Shane, who you just saw, who's probably about your age, my age, who I just had on here. I'm going to pull his picture up again real quick. Shane, and he commented in here as well. He said he didn't own anything but his home. All he had was his home when he got in the class, and now he's done 5 deals, and $350,000 to $400,000 now he's made, and this is Shane right here. If you guys missed him earlier, there's Shane, and so he's actually a good role model for you in the class to kind of follow what he's doing, because what Shane did is he just bought a house. It's kind of an inexpensive house, made $13,000. Bought another one, a little more, made $100,000, and then he made another $100,000. Then he got another one. There's probably $100,000, but he sold it to a relative and made $50,000 instead of $100,000. And now he's done another one that I didn't even know about. And that's how it works. Believe me. You're going to learn how to fish. You're going to learn how to fish and find deals. And so, yeah, Mike, anyways, yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the webinar tonight, and everybody watching, get in there and ask tough questions. I want you to treat me like I'm a dick you don't trust, that you want me to prove that I know what I'm doing. Seriously, this is what I would tell my kids. Listen, trust but verify. For God's sakes, you know how many people get screwed and raked over the coals? And, worst thing is getting bad advice. I really take it seriously. What I'm talking to you about right now, I wouldn't let you off the phone if I thought I didn't cover something, right? So I'm trying to give you a lot of information that I can right now, because I don't want you to make a mistake. I've been blessed. Okay, I got to do a lot of things that most people can't do. I've been doing it my whole life. I've taken 2-3 week long vacations to Hawaii and Mexico and wherever, where I want with my family. Big family, and nobody's ever heard it for anything. I don't spoil my kids, but they don't go without anything. And now they're adults and they're making their way and doing very, very well. And, so it's just super important. You gotta take time to get a knowledge base so that you can make good decisions in the future. But you're in a great position. You got some cash, you got Social Security. You just need to, maybe just play with 50,000 of that money until you take that 50 and turn it into 100, and then maybe you can take 100 and turn that into 300 or 400, and you know what I mean? Just incrementally build.
Right.
But when I say play with 50, I'm just saying I want you to be careful. I've never had anybody in the class, to my knowledge, I don't think anybody in my class ever lost money. In fact, I'd bet $100,000 with Grant Cardone, Chris Crone, Pace Morby, that my students have made more than their students have. Okay, 100%. 100%. And I have very few students, okay, comparatively, okay. Success rate through the roof compared to anybody else. And so like I say, if you just got here, please hit that subscribe button. We're talking real estate, and I got a webinar tonight you don't want to miss. But so, Mike, I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in there tonight. Please, right now, go fill out the apply for mentorship. It's at the top of my screen at FlipAnythingUSA.com. I'll show you real quick here, right here, and anybody watching, just click there, right there. Take time to watch some of these folks. This is when he'd only made $3 million. Now he's up to $4 million made. Everybody you see in this little picture right here made 100, 500. Everybody's made more than that since then. I can't even keep up with the students, and that's how it is. And it's like casual. Some don't even talk about what they bought. So I bought a couple. What? You made $100,000? You didn't share it with the class? It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon, and I'm so happy and so grateful to have such smart people in the class. And anybody want to call in? Please call in. Russ, if you want to call in, any student want to call in, call in. Russ just said, he goes, I vetted Tom. He knows what he's talking about. And so, Russ is great, because he's a young man. He's 30 years old, got 4 kids, already a multimillionaire. And he wanted to get into commercial. He was already successful by his own right, but he just stepped it up a huge notch when he got in my class, because he knew specifically he wanted to learn about retail and commercial, industrial investments. And he quickly vetted me, like he said, and figured out, this is a guy I can learn from, and he's a quick study, and he's killing it, and so it's a very cool thing, and so you just couldn't be in better company. Russ, if you want to call in, please call in. We'll stretch this conversation. By the way, I am going to do a live today at 4:30 with a buddy of mine, Mark, a smart guy, also a real estate investor, not nearly to the degree that I am, but he's still a really smart guy, and always fun. We'll probably talk about some politics or a little bit, or the state of the country, and we talk about a lot of different stuff. But so, Mike, I will drop your call, and I'll look forward to seeing you tonight at 7. And everybody else, anybody else want to call in, like I say, please do. And otherwise, I'll kill this, and I'll probably go live again in maybe another 15, 20 minutes, who knows, and we'll talk about something new. I don't know. But anyways, so, hey, Mike, I appreciate you calling in. It was really a pleasure talking to you.
Good, Tom.
All right, buddy. See you.
Thank
then.
you.
Yep. Bye now.
Bye.
All right. Other comments. Let's see. Yeah, Desmond. So, it doesn't matter in Hawaii. It doesn't matter. You can make money anywhere. Hawaii is no different than anywhere in the U.S. I mean, you got to be careful. Actually, my folks bought a piece of property in Hawaii. It's under lava, about 10 foot of lava. It's like the equivalent of buying swampland in Florida. So you can make a mistake for sure in Hawaii. You just don't want to buy, next to an active volcano. Okay, and that can't happen, by the way. It's pretty amazing when you see it. I think this is Russ. Let's hear you guys. You're in for a treat. Russ is a bright guy. Hey, Russ, is that you?
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I was gonna actually tell you yesterday. I was gonna call in.
I saw you, buddy, but I
caller.
lost you. I appreciate you. I saw that. Yeah.
No worries. But I was gonna say yesterday about the fake gurus. So I ran into them the first time when I was like 15 years old. So I started my real estate pretty young. But I went to, so back then, this is like, 15 years ago, they used to organize these rallies at hotels or these huge meetups of these fake real estate gurus. And I thought they were the real thing, So I would go over there, and they're like telling us all these stories of how these guys made millions and how they got credit and this and that. But we'll teach you the secret stuff if you sign up for a $50,000 course.
Yeah.
And they're like, asking you shall receive and this and that, and, blowing a bunch of smoke. And I'm believing all of this stuff as a 15-year-old,
sure,
but I don't have the $50,000,
Well, it's a good thing
I started some stuff, but
it's a good thing you didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, but this is how I found out they were fake gurus. So after, the event, I come up there and I'm like, 15 years old, and I'm like, hey, I don't have the money, but if you could please let me into your class for free, and I'll, do a couple of deals, and I'll pay off that 50 grand. You said, ask and you shall receive. He's like, yeah, kid, I'm not Jesus. Move along.
Yeah. Go away, kid. You're bothering me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, this guy is fake. So with you, I mean, you actually know what you're talking about, and you show examples, and so those fake gurus are real. They're out there, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can spend your money. And there were guys, in their early 20s signing up for their $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 courses, just wasting their money. One guy, he spent like 15 grand on CDs and DVDs, and I asked him, like, hey, what happened? He's like, I didn't even watch him. But all that money was wasted.
Yeah, so even way back in the 80s, okay, I went to, I'm finding a Trump picture. They would do the same thing. You'd go to a hotel, and it wasn't nearly as bad. In other words, these guys were just selling their books. They'd say, hey, get my course, and they'd talk, and if you thought they knew what they were doing, then after they were done, they'd walk to the back of the room, and there'd be a table with their books, and they'd start selling their books, and maybe a course, and $100, $200, something like that. And then, this is like the equivalent of like a Carlton Sheets or something like that. Well, now, the deal is, and who is this guy? I forget his name. His name was everywhere for a while. They get a guy that gets on a TV show, which is such, stage bullshit anyways. Than Merrill I'm thinking of. And a lot of complaints, huge complaints. And, that's why I don't mind pointing people to Reddit, because I don't have any complaints. And if somebody does one just to fuck with me, it doesn't matter. It's not credible and I can disprove it. But the thing is like, they get you under the premise of you're going to learn something. And when they get there, they just want to find out how much money you got. And then it's like, who really wants to make money? Raise your hand. Who's got 50 grand? Well, anybody raise their hand with 50 grand, it's like, okay, go into the VIP room over there where the vultures will start working on you to take your wallet. And then, all right, who's got 20 grand or who's got 10 grand? And then they go over and they get, the sub vultures that will go after people for that 10 grand. And then it's like, well, who's got $1,000? Well, and then maybe those people, and then, all right, everybody else, bye-bye, because you don't have any money.
Yep, that's exactly what they did with us.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do a seminar here one of these days, and live, like a seminar with people in a room and that sort of thing, and I love it because presumably people have already been through that bullshit, and they'll, like I say, it's a whole different story with me, as you know. Like I say, I've got the credentials, I show the properties, I show the deals, show the profits, I have the assets, and that's what that's really the defining difference, right? And then like I'm a big proponent of buy local, buy everything nearby. Everything should be nearby,
right?
But so what is your take right now with the you see more confidence in the market right now?
I mean, maybe like Bitcoin's going up and down. Gold's going down.
Bitcoin, I don't know what that means. I mean, I don't see that it's, yeah, you know what I mean? To me, it's shitcoin. I'm like Warren Buffett. I think it's trading towards. But
real estate, it's kind of holding. I mean, there was that Fed that lowered the rate, last week or earlier this week, but didn't really affect the mortgages too much. So it's kind of steady. Who knows what's going to happen next? Hopefully, they keep lowering rates and, everything keeps moving. Maybe not like a boom like we had a couple of years ago, or, like a really big run-up balloon, but maybe it'll keep going. But my question for you is, what do you think will happen with office? Do you think office will recover? I was just reading the newspaper. We have a big building in Portland. It's like one of the biggest office buildings, and it's called the Montgomery Center. So some company from Seattle paid I think it was like $350 million a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They couldn't make the payments and they lost it. And a local family investment company bought it for $30 million.
Wow.
So it went from almost $400 million to $30 million. And I'm just kind of curious what they're going to do to turn it around, because there's a lot of companies leaving Portland, especially office. I think U.S. Bank just said they're going to leave one of the big high-rise skyscrapers to another area. They're not going to renew the lease. But what do you think is going to happen with the office? And if, you get something like that, I think it's it's a really, really huge building. What do you do with it? Redevelop it into condos or apartments?
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. I mean, I'm not even saying office is doomed yet. I have offices that are filled with schools. You get a school, school's a wonderful thing. I have schools, and there's some places or maybe it can convert to flex easy enough. Is it a multi-story building?
It's a multi-story. You can look it up, Montgomery Building, Montgomery, Portland. It's like one of the biggest buildings in the whole state. Yep.
I'm going there now.
It has I think it's 8 stories tall. It's a really huge building.
Montgomery,
but
Portland?
$30 million. That's
Montgomery, Oregon.
Yep.
Okay.
No. It's in Portland. The building is called Montgomery.
Oh, sorry. Montgomery.
Really big building.
Portland, Oregon. Okay, Montgomery.
Yep, in Portland.
Let's see where that goes. I think there's opportunities to, redo it. So I'm in the skyline now.
It's towards the downtown area. It's like northeast Portland.
Do you see the
really
screen?
Huge building?
I don't know.
I'm driving right now.
Yeah, I see the Willamette River. I see several buildings. But, listen, I saw a building not unlike what you've got right here. There was a building kind of like the one I'm focusing on right now. And I remember that there was a couple. They were a husband and wife team, and they really didn't care for each other. I remember the woman was extremely beautiful. I remember could hardly take my eyes off her at the time. And they sold this building in downtown Austin for $16 million, and they were splitting basically 6% of that, so it was like $1.5 million or $1.05 million commission. And as soon as that deal closed, they separated. They each took their half of the check and they separated. Happy with money, anyways. And but it was a building that was like you described. It was probably $100 million building, and I bought a 30,000 square foot apartment building, for basically $340,000, 2 buildings that totaled that. And you couldn't build them for $1.5 million. You know what I mean? They're
right.
You just couldn't.
I don't think you can't build that building for $30 million with all that, parking garages and all of that. I mean,
but I think you're onto something. If you'd have to really look at the construction of it, but if you could convert it into a hotel, of course, a hotel would be great. You got to make sure you got elevators and get people out, and stairways and all this stuff that you worry about with people and the fires and that sort of thing. But yeah, certainly that would be a possibility. That would be a possibility for sure.
I see.
Yeah, there's money everywhere. You know what I mean? And it's funny, you think, like I say, I mean, what that sold for $30 million, there's, you can get to that point where you can buy a $30 million building. You know what I mean? Starting from nothing. You're going to be there. You're going to be there for sure.
The funny thing is that developer who bought the building, all of a sudden, he was very secretive, loose lips, sink ships. So he was very secretive. They were denying they're in the process of trying to buy it. And then once he bought it, he came out with a statement like, "Oh, Portland's an amazing city. It's turning around."
Oh, yeah.
AKA come to Portland and fill this building.
Yeah. Of course, aren't we all that way?
Yeah.
I mean, when we're buying it, it's a pile of shit. When we get it, it's the Taj Mahal. You're lucky to be in it.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
But just the opportunity. Someone paid almost $400 million, and someone came around $30 million. So I don't know. That's inspiring for me. I want to do something like that.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Absolutely. No, you can, and like I say, you can buy stuff 10 cents on the dollar when things are bad, or when there's, there's all kinds of things. So, yeah, well, that's interesting. And, I'm really looking forward to the next 4 years. Think I'm going to make a lot. It's just kind of nice to have an opportunity to make a lot of money. And I'm not even saying, I always say, right, good times, bad times, you know better than anybody. You can make money in a downturn. It doesn't really matter. But it's kind of nice when you're when things are getting better and everybody's making more money. And that's what's going to pull us out is people making more. People just got to make more money. I mean, that's the only solution there is to inflation. So lower interest rates isn't going to really help. It's just going to make the problem worse in some ways. So, but
I think the PPI came out today, and or not the CPI. CPI I think is tomorrow. But either way, inflation's going back up.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, and cutting a half a point was ridiculous. I don't even think that should have happened. And then another quarter point after that. I just don't think it's a good idea. I mean, I think we got to suffer a little bit, but the key thing is putting people to work and pulling the resources out of our ground here in the USA. Put people to work here, ram those tariffs up, keep our economy, be protective. Be protective. I don't know why people think protectionism is such a bad word. I mean, you want everything to be made in China, your drugs, your steel, your guns. I mean, shit, they're going to squash us. They can just cut us off, and we don't have medicine. Cut us off, and we can't protect ourselves. So it's so stupid. People are not very smart out there, unfortunately. But thank God, they're smart enough that they put somebody new under management. I think we really got a big taste of this stupid woke shit, and it's been totally rejected. Thank
so.
goodness.
Tom, do you think we're in stagflation right now?
Yeah, probably. At the moment.
Do you think that will continue on for the 4 more years, or do you think that will be turned around?
You know what? I thought things. I thought things were going to go to pot, even when Trump came in the first time, but he inspired such confidence. He ran the tariffs. He put people to work, had oil production up. He's going to do it again. And now he knows better than ever. He knows who his friends are. He knows who his enemies are. So he's going into this thing, and he's getting all the people that he knows and can trust. He already knows who's a scum and who's who's a backstabber and who's not.
He got Matt Gaetz as Attorney General or nominee.
Hopefully, that's
a lot of feathers to get ruffled.
Yeah, so that'll be a test because Matt Gaetz has to be approved. By the Senate and Congress, so they got to vote for him to be approved. And, and usually, listen, the president should get whatever the hell he wants. He just, by landslide, fantastic margin, most voters ever. He's got the popular vote, the electoral vote. You honor somebody when they get that kind of a win. Plus, he's the reason why they've taken over the House and they've got the great numbers that they got. Is people turned out to vote that have never voted for before and just went Republican. So they and I tell you, I haven't given any money to the Republican Party. I've only given money to Trump. I mean, maybe a couple of people he liked. And I gave till it hurt. I was a VIP donor when he ran the first time and more recently also, and because I know how important it was. And thank God, it's a great investment because now we got somebody who knows what the hell they're doing and that believes in growth and prosperity, not building government jobs and raising our taxes. He believes in lowering our taxes and putting people to work and keeping, protect our cycles within the country. So it's a really, really great thing. So you're going to see everything get better. Everything's going to get better. Lifestyles are going to get better. Quality of living.
I heard taxes are going to go down.
Well, they are.
Especially if you're going to sell something. Sell it next year, not this year.
Well, there's not going to be tax on overtime. There's not going to be tax on tips. That's a huge benefit to the middle class. Enormous benefit to the middle class.
Capital gains, I think, are going down too.
Well, I'd be surprised.
They're going to be lower.
I would be surprised if that happens, but I'll take it. I'll take it if it does. But yeah, the people that don't understand that. When you lower taxes, capital gains. I'll sell a property that I would normally sell because it's not so painful to take the knocks of selling it. And that's the thing. If you don't understand, trickle down or don't appreciate or don't agree with it, I mean, it's foolish because it's 100% trickle down. Everything works. And looking at some of your stores in your area there, that's interesting. you have to understand, poor people don't build buildings. Poor people don't start businesses. Rich people do. Wealthy people do. Entrepreneurs do. And, so you those jobs aren't going to be there unless you support the people that take the chances to make money. Is Bimart one of your places? That's in Portland?
We used to have a lot of Bimart.
Bimart's
so
BI, yeah.
I think I can actually text you that building. Let me try to find it. I just pulled over.
All right.
It's a huge, huge complex building. Yep, I just texted to you. So you should have it here.
Let me see.
But yeah, just unbelievable. $30 million for such a building. I mean, I guess I've seen it before. I've seen a $30 million building sell for $5 million. So you just need the money. Got to do those flips and build equity and get enough, resources to be able to get deals like that.
Right. I don't see your text yet. Oh, what the?
Showing me that it's sent.
Oh, huh. All right. Yeah.
You got it?
I'm looking at my text, Sam. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm reading Sam at the same time. Russ, I do not see your text, but what's the address? Just give me the address.
Okay, I can give you the address. Yeah, 2701.
2701.
Northwest.
Vaughn
Northwest.
Street? Yeah.
Yep. Portland, Oregon.
All right. So this is a recent sale of a building. Wow, that's a big son of a bitch.
Well, some company, I think they're from Seattle, paid almost $400 million for this complex, like 3 years ago.
And it's just been empty.
It was almost $400 million. Yeah.
Well, it says Pediatric Associates. There must be. It's not vacant, is it?
I have no idea. I haven't driven by it, but I'm sure there might be somebody in there. But it's a huge building. It's like one of the biggest buildings in Oregon.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's a monster, man.
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh, they distort whatever's written on the top. It says something Park on the top.
Montgomery Park.
Montgomery Park, yeah. Huh. So this building went from $400 million, sold for $30 million. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, the guy, I'm sure, will make a killing. I mean, like, this is the thing. When you buy something with that disparity and what it's worth, what it costs to build compared to what you paid for it, I mean, this guy could probably make his mortgage with 20% occupancy. And that's what's really cool about real estate is it's just math. You got to understand that everybody that's watching, it's just math. All you got to do is put a pen to paper and figure it out. But you got to have knowledge. You have to have the knowledge and confidence of what you can get for rent. You got to have the knowledge and confidence of what you can resell it for. And when you know that and the numbers work, it gives you more confidence of putting out that cash to buy something to make more. But yeah, like I say, and so, it's just amazing. Like I say, I couldn't afford to buy a $400 million building. But I guess I can. If it was only $30 million, I could do that. I could do that. So that gives you a lot of.
I mean, how would you do it, Tom? How would you pull $30 million? Would you pull other investors, or you have lines of credit?
I would sell a building. I would sell one of my buildings to buy it. That's all. I would sell one of my buildings. Mm-hmm. That would cover 25% of $30 million, probably, or maybe even 10% of $30 million would do it. It wouldn't take that much. In other words, you could put $6 million out, and bank could finance and shit. Yeah. I mean, my bank would for sure give me the money, especially if I put 20% down on a $30 million building that costs $400 million. It's a no-brainer. Yeah.
If you could show them, but you have to show the bank that you can. This thing can make money. Otherwise, they won't finance it.
It would be able to make money because, I mean, listen, it doesn't take. There's so much space. There's so much. You know what I mean? I mean, I would be interested in looking at the zones. You can see these gigantic boilers and air conditioners on top. You don't want to have to heat and cool the entire damn building for one tenant. So there's things you got to. I would probably consolidate. The leasing. to one quadrant of the building, and then get that to where it's making money. And then be okay. Now let's go over here and let's turn on this other air conditioner. And and then they still have ways of directing so you're not heating and cooling parts of the buildings that you don't need. This has a huge solar array on top. That's interesting. Huge. Anyways, but yeah. I mean, I don't think it would be hard, Russ, to let's see what how many. You don't know what the square footage is on this, do you?
I have to look it up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 stories.
I'm just thinking if it was only $5,690, man, that was a lot more doable than I thought.
No, this is why that guy was being quiet. He's smart to be quiet.
Let's see.
All right. There is 120,000. It's like 120 to 130,000 square feet.
I actually found it 728,910 square feet. 728,000.
700?
728,910 square feet. Built in 1921, 11 acres. Almost 730,000 square feet.
Maybe. It didn't look right, but I'm going to check it out for the hell of it.
I found the tax ID. I pulled it up on the tax records. The tax amount is $2.1 million, and market value it's assessed at $160 million.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, almost 730,000 square feet. Man, oh man! I think this is one of the biggest deals I let pass on me.
Wow, 112,000. Yeah, I was off. It's 112,000 times
730,000 square
times
feet.
10. Yeah. The footprint is 1 million square feet. If it went straight up, I mean, if every floor was completely, they're obviously taking out. There's a cutout in this thing, but no, man. Yeah. No, you know what? This is where it's fun to kick the tires and look at certain things. But, you don't want to be, like I say, you're not a tire kicker. I mean, you kick the tires and you buy. But some people, they're just lifetime tire kickers. They don't do anything but kick tires and never buy. Oh, look at that. You got beautiful. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. And like I say, there's so many beautiful places that got the most screwed up politics and poorly run places. And, of course, everybody knows Portland's one of them. But beautiful place. So, anyways, so hey, back to the webinar for anybody watching. Please get in the webinar tonight, 7 p.m. Central, and you can see you'll hear from you'll see people like Russ in here. Russ, who's made millions of dollars, avid investor, 30 years old, 4 kids, and just living the dream. And Russ, like myself, it's just kind of cool when you can be so comfortable so young. And I've had that my whole life, and I know Russ has that. And I'm happy for you, Russ. It's really beautiful when I see your family and the pictures you've shared. It's just an awesome thing. And you just want more people to enjoy the same damn thing, especially when you get older. I mean, I'm not near as, I used to be so protective of what I know. I wouldn't teach anybody anything. But now when you see the results, when you see people like Shane and you and other people and people that don't know anything about real estate suddenly doing extremely well, it's just a beautiful thing. And whether you live in a big city or a little tiny place out in the out in the boondocks, doesn't matter. There's inventory, right? Even if you live in a spread like I'm showing on the screen here, where maybe the smallest lot's 40 acres, it's money. This is all money. Everything is going to change hands. People are going to die, divorce, move on, retire. There's a reason for everything. And like I say, it's just there's just an incredible amount of inventory in the USA, and it's just a great opportunity. But not everybody understands that. So anyways, well, Russ, I think I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to be coming back on and off here all the way till 4:30. So feel free to jump back in, especially when I got my buddy Mark here. He's a smart guy. You might have some smart questions for him too. So
all right. I'm excited to listen to him. Thank you, Tom.
Always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much, Russ. Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye now. So, those of you watching, FlipAnythingUSA going to have a mentorship, a webinar tonight, and you can learn about the mentorship. I guarantee I got the best and brightest students, most successful mentorship out there of anybody. Urge comparison, compare me to, I didn't want to say, but Pace Morby, Grant Cardone, Chris Crone, any of these guys, any of the, or Beardy Weirdy Brandon. I call him Beardy Weirdy because I don't think he's nearly as successful as he claims. I don't think he has the abilities that he produces. Certainly, if you look at Open Door is by no means a success, according to the investors that have jumped into it. So maybe that's what we'll do. Let's make a Beardy Weirdy Brandon thumbnail, and we'll look at Brandon next. Anyway, so hey, everybody watching, I appreciate you so much hanging out with me and taking time to, if you're interested in real estate, this is a beautiful thing. And I got to go back to the questions here. Anybody comment? Oh yeah, quite a few. Let me get back here. Oh God, I don't even want to talk too much about some of this stuff here, Kevin, but I appreciate what you got. Yeah, Bitcoin, oh yeah, there you go, Kevin. Yeah, no, you're right. Well, Kevin, there's also a lot of common area that wasn't included in there, but it was still about 3/4 of that footprint times 10, like you said, and that's what you saw me doing. But who else? What else is in here? Yeah. Well, hey, Kevin, or anybody that's not in the webinar or isn't already in the mentorship, come on. If you got money to invest, and get in the mentorship, because you'll know better what to do with your money when you get exposed to myself, and I can show you how and why. And if you're smarter than me, great. But come find out, see if you are. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to call it quits, everybody, here for now. But if you just got in, again, hit that subscribe button. Get my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. Been a bestseller on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. Don't miss out on it. It's the best $10-20 you ever spend. People get that. They make money with that, and then they get in the course or the class. Urge you to do that. And, go to FlipAnythingUSA.com. I thought it was there. Take a look at the opportunities. Take a look at what's there. All these successful people that are here that have only been in the class anywhere from 1 year to 3.5 years. It's just a very cool thing. And while this window of time, while I'm still alive, okay, I'm 62, very healthy guy, and I have the men in my family live almost to 100 years old, so I'm going to be around a while. So yeah, please join me in the webinar tonight. Like making friends all over the country, and that's what I've been doing. And it's especially good. When people are throwing money at you and they still remain friends, they know they got their money's worth, and they know they're doing the right thing. Especially the ones that are really making money. It's very, very cool, and I appreciate those recommendations. And I don't listen. Nobody gets paid a referral in my class. Nobody's saying, "Hey, get in," and Tom will. I don't pay referrals. Never do. If it's not worthy of referring, don't refer me. But it's been very beautiful, and I've had some great referrals from some of the students to other people. They're friends, right? They want their friends and family. Although not everybody wants their friends and family in the same neighborhood, because they don't want to compete for those deals in their neighborhood that they're learning about. But so again, see y'all tonight, 7 p.m., and I'll be back on live again a couple times here today with my buddy Mark, who I think you'll find pretty interesting as well. Thanks.
And listen, time is on a mission to eliminate all the snake oil and the fake gurus that fake y'all. He'll show you how to build an empire, starting with nothing but a desire. All you really need is a good mentor, not a used car bullshit. With time, you'll learn to crush it. Investing like Warren Buffett. With real estate, you cannot procrastinate. Everyone who hesitates is left at the starting gate. Hey, yo, so don't delay and join today. The mentorship and flip anything USA. Go.